class, my name is Tamiya Hogan, and today I will be discussing if experiences in nature can help reduce stress along with the different neurotransmitters that may be introduced while partaking this event. I picked this topic because one time when I was dealing with my emotions, I didn't have really a coping mechanism, so I took the most free, inexpensive activity, and it worked wonders for me. I took a walk around the neighborhood and I just saw how beneficial it was. And one day in class, we were learning about serotonin and how it's so relaxing. And I know from comprehending that neurotransmitters can be introduced through an environment. So I asked the professor if we are in a nature experience, is serotonin introduced? She then told me that this would be a good research project. So it kind of stuck with me because I was very interested. As I said, that a walk around the neighborhood in nature is one of my better coping mechanisms now. So I was interested in studying it. The article that I have as evidence to help support me in this study is titled Urban Nature Experiences Reduce Stress in the Context of Daily Life Based on Salivary Biomarkers. And in this article, they took 8 participants and gave them a nature pill, which has the same effects as if you were to spend max potential amount of hours in nature and the effects that it would give on you. And they measured their cortisol levels and their amylase levels with their saliva. And cortisol and amylase are stress levels. So this is my study and my article that's going to help me support it, and I'm very interested in this topic. So yeah, let's get into it. We learned about neurotransmitters, and I easily comprehended that neurotransmitters were introduced dependent upon your environment. So let's say that you're in a dangerous situation, your fight or flight response or acetylcholine might show up as an effect from being in that environment. So as we were learning about serotonin and we were learning about the different relaxing effects that it gives, it flashed me back from when I took that walk and how relaxing I felt. So I was just I asked the professor if serotonin was introduced while in the event of a nature experience, and she said that it would be a good research topic. So here we are today. And of course, cortisol and amylase are stress predictors. Their functions are primarily stress, and they work on like kind of a night day schedule. So in the article, that was what was measured. It was cortisol and amylase. It wasn't any other neurotransmitter. But this article, it best supports what I'm trying to uncover and understand. So I think it was the best to introduce into the study. The article was interested in finding out if nature experiences reduce stress, and I was also interested in that topic as well, but I was aiming at if there were also other neurotransmitters or hormones introduced while partaking in a nature experience. But this article was the best article to help support what I was trying to deliver. So this one was the best utilized. And in the article, they took 8 participants over a course of 8 weeks, and they prescribed them these nature pills, which then they took their saliva as a biomarker to test their cortisol and amylase levels before and after the nature pills. And as their hypothesis stated, that nature does reduce stress, and me myself, I can vouch for that in my own personal experiences. And so they just helped do what I couldn't do, which was the study part of it, and they did a great job in helping me understand how, if I was to conduct this study, like everything that I would need, and how to make it less biased as possible. So I do feel that this article did its job, and the hypothesis was tested correctly. Excuse me, that stress is reduced with the coping mechanism of a nature event. I found this study very interesting to me because when I was going through drastic emotions, I needed a coping mechanism. And after learning about the different neurotransmitters in class, it led me to this question, which neurotransmitters are introduced while partaking in certain activities. And I felt that if we could understand that, then maybe we could give ourselves the same effects that drugs may, but by doing activities instead. So for example, when I was going through my coping mechanisms, and I don't smoke at all, but while I was going through my coping mechanisms, if I were to smoke a cigarette instead of that walk, if the same neurotransmitters are still being released, then that can potentially help us, or help patients, steer away from drugs and more so to activities and psychotherapy that can help us reduce stress, reduce anxiety, and just help us find more beneficial coping mechanisms all around. The Urban Experiences Journal Repair article did a great job in helping me understand how this study could be tested if I did wanted to test anyone and find out myself. It also had great examples and facts on cortisol and amylase levels and nature effects in general. So I think that it did its job in helping support me with this project, and I really enjoyed researching it. And yeah, as I said before, nature does help reduce stress. I wasn't very successful in finding out what other neurotransmitters are introduced, but that doesn't mean that they aren't. It's just more tricky, like in research findings with evidence. It's just trickier measuring those, because if serotonin has multiple functions, who's to say that one nature experience is the only function to why serotonin is present? And therefore, so thank you for watching my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks.